I've recently been reading a book called Daily Rituals,
Hmm.
and it's really great. You can grab it on Amazon, and it's all about because I'm fascinated with this sort of stuff, and I always ask our guests about it. And it's about it's mainly writers, but all kinds of people, um, and the kind of like writing rituals and their daily processes and how
Hmm.
they go about it. And a running theme that I've picked up throughout the book is that generally like 2 hours is seen as like a good time to be sat down at a keyboard, and that surprised me to hear that. I was like, oh right, well that's not so bad then, that's okay. And the problem with NaNoWriMo is it's doing that and getting those words out without life getting in the way for like a whole month.
I know, and it can't be like one of the easy months where no one's doing anything, like February. It's like November. You're getting ready for holiday season. You're getting all kinds of like the winter's coming. All this kind of stuff's happening, and yet you're going to try to sit down and put together a 50,000 word manuscript. So
Yeah, and it's the whole because there is a deadline. It's 50,000 words sounds rough, but 1,600 and odd words a day is like, oh, okay. But because you've got to finish it by the end. So if you miss a day, it's like panic.
oh yeah, yeah. So and so that's why I'm excited to do this show. We've got 10 fantastic tips that are really going to help people stay on track. Um, Work around some of those kinds of issues, like if you get behind, and hopefully make it so this is an enjoyable experience and something you'll come back and do again. So, shall we go ahead and jump right into these?
Yeah, let's get started. I think people need to hear this.
Oh yeah, they definitely do. So, the first one is create a one-sentence summary of your story to keep you on track.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. So is that what we're starting
Yeah,
with?
that's tip one. I think
Changing the order on me. You
I
keep
know.
me on my toes, don't you?
I try to.
Yeah, this is a great one. It's I think in screenwriting they're called log lines. It might be a pitch, it might be a one sentence synopsis, and it's basically it's quite hard to do. And I find that if you can't do it, it generally means that there might be a problem fundamentally with the story. But if you can do it and you can boil down the story of your the plot of your story into one sentence, then it's really going to help. And especially when you've got a deadline like this and you need to have an output every day, it's going to keep you on track. You're not going to wander off on a tangent down the wrong direction, or you're not going to hit writer's block. And it comprises like 3 or 4 main things. So it's basically a protagonist, an antagonist, a situation, and a goal. So it needs to convey those 4 things. And if you can, summarize your story and distill it into that one sentence and just have that there every time you sit down to write, you're going to know where the story's going, and it's just really going to help keep you on track. Because the last thing you want to do is sit down with like minimum, by the way, if you've been keeping up, a 1,600 word daily word count in front of you and not know where the story's going.
Yeah, and so I thought this was a fantastic one because that's what some people do with Nano, and it can be a very fun experiment, is to do that whole what they call pants writing, writing by the seat of your pants and just seeing where things take you. But just like Peter, like we were saying, that can end up being a real struggle, because then all of a sudden you're worried about where it's going because you've got the writer's block with it. So this helps narrow that focus, and so that you can just keep the wheels going every single day, because that's the important part, and which takes us into the second one, which is write ahead. And this is the idea of, yes, it's like 1,600 words per day, but you're going to have crises that are going to come up in November. I guarantee it. I guarantee there's going to be a weekend when you've got to go somewhere for family outings or whatever. And so you need to get ahead, because these situations are going to come. So those days, especially the first 2 weeks that you're into Nano, those are going to be your most productive ones, because they're going to be the most exciting portions. So try to double that word count. Try to get in a morning session and a night session, and try to write ahead so that you've got more word count, so that when you have these problems come up, that they don't derail you and you feel like you have to give up.
Yeah, it's like a little buffer zone. It's a
Yeah.
it's a great feeling as well. I mean, you don't want to stop halfway through a scene. You're like, oh, word counts up. That's. But if you add 500 words even, then you know that it takes the pressure off a little, doesn't it?
It does. And I know a lot of us, if you're like me, you do like to have a deadline, and you do get a little bit of creative boost from it. But at the same time, the breathing room is really important, especially when you're trying to compete. And this is, a competition with yourself, trying to prove that you can do this and make it happen. So definitely right ahead. Excuse me. I apologize. I've had this cough for like 5 weeks now, and I think maybe I'm just dying. So
we hope not.
I know. Well, the books would sell more, I think,
And if you do, make sure it's on air, because that'd make a great show.
Yeah, it would be a good show. This was the show he died on, so it'd be kind of, yeah.
Thank you for listening, and come back next week for more. Please visit thebookeditorshow.com for show notes, links to guests, books and extras, and for information on how to be a guest on the show.